Beginning inside the playhouse, position 4 T-nuts in the pre-drilled holes at the base of the SW side panel. Outside, place the ground SW along the bottom of the SW side panel. Align the holes and attach the ground SW loosely with 4 hex bolts. Next, position each diagonal so that the end of one rests against the edge of the narrow window panel and the other against the edge of the door side panel. Use hex bolts to loosely attach each diagonal to the ground SW. Drill a pilot hole, then connect the top of one diagonal to the edge of the narrow window panel using a wafer lag. Repeat the process on the other side, this time connecting the diagonal to the edge of the door side panel. Now you can tighten all 6 hex bolts. Next, place the SW tabletop in the opening of the SW side panel. Make sure it's tight against the panels, then fasten it in place with 3 wood screws. Drive a rebar ground stake 13 inches into the ground near the end of one of the diagonals. Be careful not to damage or break the washer while you're hammering. When the stake is in, attach it to the diagonal with a pan screw. Install a second rebar ground stake at the end of the other diagonal, and a third one inside the fort along the bottom of the cafe chalk wall window panel. Once all of the ground stakes are secure, check each one carefully and, if necessary, file down any sharp edges or touch up with outdoor paint. Place a slide nest floor tight to the SW side panel on the upper level of the playset. Then add a slide nest floor A board next to it and alternate until 6 boards are in place. Make sure they're spaced evenly and flush with the edges of the front floor and back floor. Use 8 wood screws to fasten each board to the SL end, front floor, floor joist, and back floor. Place another floor A next to the boards you've already installed. Then insert 6 floors, making sure the boards are evenly spaced and flush to the front of the SL half panel. Use 6 wood screws to fasten each of the boards to the front floor, floor joist, and back floor. Insert T-nuts into the pre-drilled holes at the top of the cafe chalk wall window panel. Then position the front top on the outside. Attach it in place using 2 wafer bolts. Then use a wood screw to connect the front top to the SL post. Place the F transom on top of the cafe chalk wall window panel so that it's sitting directly behind the front top. Check to make sure it's also on top of the SL post and flush with the outer edge. Use 3 wood screws to fasten it securely. Now place the B transom on top of the narrow window panel. Make sure it's flush with the outside edge. Then secure the B transom in place with wood screws. Attach the roof support to the roof support left at the peak using a wood screw. Next, insert T-nuts into the top post right and top post left. Place the top post right and top post left parallel on the ground with the notched end facing up. Place the SW top over top so the notches fit together. Then place the roof support assembly over the SW top. Make sure the countersunk holes are facing up. Then attach the parts with 2 hex bolts. Measure 12 inches from the center of either bolt hole and place the sunburst onto the SW top. Now measure 2 inches down from the top to find the correct position for the holes on the sunburst. Use 2 wood screws to secure it in place. Flip the assembly over and place the center gable so that the tip is centered at the peak. Move the side gables into place, Then fasten the parts in place using 4 wood screws for the center gable and 3 for each side gable. Attach the right gable angle and left gable angle at the peak using a wood screw. Insert T-nuts into the gable bottom. Then, with the T-nuts facing down, place the left and right gable angle over top of the gable bottom so that it's flush on both ends. Attach the boards with 2 hex bolts. Measure 8.5 inches from the center of either bolt hole and place a sunburst on the gable bottom, making sure it's flush to the bottom. Attach it with 2 wood screws. Flip the assembly over and place a center gable on the sunburst. Make sure it's centered at the top, then add the side gables. Once all of the boards are flush to the gable bottom, secure them with wood screws. Use 4 for the center gable and 3 for each side gable. Join the 2 roof spacers together at the peak. Make sure they're aligned, then attach them using a wood screw. Use a square to ensure the roof spacers are at a 90-degree angle. Connect the panels so that the edge of the front large roof panel overlaps the edge of the back large roof panel. Use a square to confirm the panels are at a 90-degree angle. Now attach them using 3 wood screws. Position the small front roof panel so that it overlaps the edge of the small back roof panel. Make sure the inside angle is square. Then attach the panels together using 3 wood screws. Place the roof spacer assembly on top of the small roof assembly and make sure it's flush to the outside edge. Measure 7 inches in from either end of the small roof assembly and add a mark. From that spot, measure another 10 inches and add a mark, and then place the final mark 10 inches further along the board. Now attach the first side of the roof spacer assembly using 3 wood screws. Repeat those steps on the other side, once again using 3 wood screws to secure the roof spacer assembly in place. Place the roof support assembly on top of the SW side panel and make sure it's flush. On the front side, fasten the top post left to the SL post with a wood screw. Use another wood screw to attach it to the front top, and use 2 wood screws to attach the top post left to the F transom. On the back side, attach the top post right to the narrow window panel with 1 screw, and use 2 wood screws to secure it to the B transom. On the slide side of the assembly, use a measuring tape to make sure there's a 36-inch distance between the narrow window panel and the cafe chalk wall panel. Move the gable angle support assembly into position. Using 2 wood screws, attach one end to the narrow window panel and the back top. Now attach the other end to the cafe chalk wall window panel and the front top. From inside the assembly, place a corner panel bracket between the right gable angle and the cafe chalk wall window panel. Secure it in place using 3 pan screws. Repeat those steps on the other side to secure the left gable angle to the narrow window panel.